LaRue sells this upper receiver right here as a match grade upper receiver, but what does that actually mean for your everyday homing? Us. Since Sparky and I are just your everyday guys and really have no formal firearms training, we're going to be giving this our best go, shooting it, talking about fit, feel, and finish, and then at the very end, shooting it for groups, and then telling you guys how it stacks up against other competitively priced firearms. So to tell you a little bit about the review process on this, we've shot it, we've grouped it, and we also have about 200 or 300 rounds through it, which is a little bit less than the typical amount of ammunition that we put through our AR-15s, and that's just because this is a match grade upper and paired with a high and low receiver.
Yeah, because we're not trying to like burn these down.
Yeah, this is not something that we feel is like a tactical shooter. And we'll get into our purpose later that we feel like this rifle would be ideal for, because there's definitely one and there's definitely a reason that I think you should get this. But in terms of the testing process, the evaluation process that we've done, we've shot it probably 200 or 300 rounds and just starting the break-in process for your typical AR-15. The upper receiver costs about $1,300 and the actual designation for it was LT-15. This was picked up from Optics Planet. We got to give a big thank you to them because they did let us review it. So big thank you to Optics Planet. If you use code DELP, you save a little bit of moolah. We picked up the lower receiver on our own from Primary Arms. That was about $625. So all in all, this is pretty much a $2,000 rifle after you get done with taxes and transfers and all that crazy nonsense. So it's one of the most expensive rifles we own here on the channel. I would say top 1 or 2 actually. Yeah. Because we got a Geisley and we got an ADM, but all in all, this is a really high-end rifle and it has a really high-end price tag on it. How we set this up for a lot of the shooting that we did do is we used a Night Force NX8 at the top, and then we also did some with a Hollow Sun ARO with a kind of Midwest Industries high-rise mount. That high-rise mount has got a lot of comments on YouTube for some odd reason. It's a good one. It is a good one. What's really cool about it is if you do backup iron sights, there's a peephole in it that allows you to co-witness your iron sights so you don't have to take it off, even though it's
you're a peephole guy.
Okay. So let's jump into how's it look and feel straight out the box. But before we do, I got to tell you about Basement Operator. Basement Operator is us. You should head on over to basementoperator.com. There you can find builds, you can find, merch, you can find all kinds of cool stuff, as well as links to the people that support us. So speaking of people that support us, we got to give a big thank you to Optics Planet once again for sending out the upper receiver. You can use code DELP to save you a little bit of money over there. You also got to give a big thank you to TA Targets. As you can see here on the range, there's a lot of steel target, and it's all thanks to them. If you use code DELP, save you a little money on checkout over there at TA Targets. And then also we got to give a big thank you to True Shot because they're one of the ammo supporters here on the channel, code DELP as well. And then we have to give another thank you to AAC as they are another supporter of ammo here on the channel. All of that over at Basement Operator. So let's talk about fit, feel, finish, Sparky. I'm just going to go start out and say this is one big bulky gun.
It's got some weight to it.
For an AR-15. So here, before you're like, it looks like every other, let me. All right.
Come on in.
All right, so up here, the lockup on the rail system.
She ain't moving.
She ain't moving, but it's big, it's bulky. The upper receiver, I cannot tell you for certain that it's a bulkier upper receiver, but I feel like it's thicker. It just looks thicker. The LaRue grip, this is called an APEG grip. It reminds me of a lot of a Hogue grip, honestly.
Yeah,
the Ergo
grip.
It's an oversized,
molded,
I would say like a match grade grip, honestly.
But it is comfortable.
Yeah, it fits your hand really good, especially if you are like trying to take a more precise shot. It just feels natural that your hand comes over top of it, but it is a bigger grip. So that's what I mean by it is a big bulky gun.
It's beefy.
It is beefy.
And the rail itself is thick, 2 C's.
It's thick with 2 C's. But honestly, I don't feel like the fit and finish is anything special for an AR-15. I feel like it's just pretty much like any other AR-15 that we have here on the channel, except for it has really nice LaRue branding almost in every spot you can humanly think of.
He's proud of it.
Yeah, you take this off right here. I don't even know if I can do it. LaRue branded buffer tube at the back. I mean, literally everything on this thing is branded. The barrel's been branded. It's all LaRue.
Everything is, for the most part, proprietary.
Yeah, well, for the most part. The charging handle, believe it or not, is not a...
mil-spec.
It's just a mil-spec charging handle. It's not branded LaRue that we can see of.
And mil-spec selector switch.
And I think that's like one of the things that we kind of found odd when we're spending $2,000 on a gun is the fact that it doesn't have ambidextrous safety selectors. Not a huge deal, but it's just odd, right? You know,
it's something that we prefer.
And you see a lot on $2,000 guns, and then also you have just a mil-spec charging handle. Not the end of the world, completely functional without it, but it's just odd to see that on a $1,300 upper or a $2,000 complete firearm. Not the end of the world, but it's just strange.
Going back to the lower, you do have that nice LaRue MBT two-stage trigger.
Yeah.
Which I've been a LaRue fanboy for years.
Yeah, Sparky has a couple of these triggers. We actually put one of these triggers in our Ruger build that we did not too long ago. So we're really big fans of the trigger itself. It's a really nice two-stage, has a nice crisp, nice break.
Positive click.
Positive click, the whole 9 yards, and it is just a really, really nice trigger. And you know, before I was really super into guns. LaRue, I knew them for the trigger. I didn't really know them as a rifle manufacturer, but I had heard and known mostly of their triggers. So let's talk about the upper receiver. We're not going to go over every single little detail of the upper receiver as some of you autistic gun people would love for us to do. So in terms of charging handles, we have a typical just normal mil-spec charging handle, nothing special about it. You have a Picatinny across the top of it that is numbered for those that don't know how to count. And then in terms of your bolt carrier group, you just have a typical bolt carrier group from LaRue. Sparky, you want to tell us a little bit about the rail and everything past?
So right here where your handrail meets your upper receiver, you have your just crazy, you know, wide lockup right here, which, you know, you use your torque screws to attach it. So that thing is not moving anywhere. No. It's probably one of the more beefier looking ones we've seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
And as you go forward, you get in the 16-inch match grade barrel, which is where most of your money is going towards. I would imagine. Yeah, the name plus the barrel. And then you also got a mid-length gas system.
And then, you know, for your rail system, you have a 13-inch rail system for whatever you need to attach. It is M-locked. It does have these really open cuts here in terms of any type of venting you might need for shooting this lot. And then, of course, with a $1,300 upper receiver, you have an A2 flash hider.
That's right.
Yeah, bam.
You gotta keep the mil-spec stuff sprinkled in here.
Yeah, you got to keep the fuddiness going. So let's talk about critiques of this thing. So as you guys know, this is a $2,000 rifle.
Yeah, we've said that. We're harping on the price.
We're really harping on the price here. For the price, I think that it should come with at least a radian, at least, you know, for a $625 low receiver, you should get an ambidextrous safety selector. Neither here nor there, but just my opinion. Sparky, what do you think?
I agree. It would have been nice, you know, because there are other rifles similar price point that have those little tiny, you know, quality of life things, like a better muzzle device, your charging handle, and your selector switch. So, you know, but it's also some give and take because there are some more expensive rifles that come with a mil-spec trigger, but then come with ambi controls.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
what are we doing here? Yeah. All right, so that's fair. So now I think we're at the point where you have all been waiting for is whether or not this LaRue is actually worth the $2,000 complete rifle price.
Can it shoot?
Can it shoot? And honestly, the answer is yes. So we grouped this thing with a Vortex Strike Eagle with an American Defense mount. We ran through quite a good bit of ammunition. To talk about the actual groupings, we shot it with Hornady Black 223 75 grain, and that produced about a 1 MOA group at 100 yards. AAC at 100 yards, once again 55 grain stuff, about a 1-inch group. We shot it with freaking 65 or no,
M855.
62 grain M855, and if Sparky could shoot,
if I wouldn't have sneezed.
Ignoring the flyer, we have an 1-inch group. With the flyer, we have a 3.4-inch group. But I'm blaming Sparky on that one. Hornady Varmint Express, which is a 55 grain kind of VMAX, you know, hot shooting little round. We have a 1.08 group, and then the worst group, excluding the one above it, which Sparky pulled, is a 2.3 MOA group with Hornady 223 or Hornady Black 223 62 grain. So all in all, I think this is the best shooting,
consistent
5.5. It's best shooting and the most consistent 5.56 that we have on the channel.
Because most for AR-15s we've shot on the channel, we'll get like, oh yeah, we can get a sub 2 weight group out of this gun.
Yeah.
Then there's 3 other ammos we've shot that are 5, 6, and 4.
Or that we'll have one where it'll hit an MOA group, but then we'll turn right around and we'll have 4 other groups that are like 2 to 3, and then one that's a 5. This is the most consistent at shooting that 1-inch group that we have had with the ammunition that we've shot so far. And we shot a wide variety of weights. So that 1 1/8 twist was really just doing the most for it all. And so when we're talking about whether or not I think this is worth it, I think it's well worth $1,300 just because of how accurate the upper receiver has been. Whether or not I think the lower is worth $625, that's a different thing. But the upper receiver, I've been very impressed with.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of talked, Sparky, earlier. This is not a LARPing gun, in my opinion. We were kind of sitting here and we were looking at the
like,
thing.
who's it for?
Who's it for? And I feel like this is one hell of a coyote gun.
I don't disagree. I mean, that's what I would use it for, because as accurate, as consistent with the accuracy we're getting across the board, it'd be a perfect predator gun.
Yeah, it'd be a great predator gun. So, you know, when you might think, well, it's a match grade upper receiver, why wouldn't you just use it as, you know, like a match for taking it to matches and whatnot? And you could. What I think is, you know, you don't get as much velocity out of a 16-inch barrel. So a lot of the match guns have longer barrels to really push the velocity of the 5.56 round. So, you know, as you could take this if you're shooting like shorter matches, anything that you're really stretching your legs on, I think a lot of long range shooters would probably not choose this. Now, I might be completely wrong. I'm not a long range shooter. So, you know, my long range is, you know,
160 yards.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll chalk that up to my long range experience. But for what I would use it for is definitely a coyote gun, because I mean, it is just a laser. And you know, if I'm wanting for a more tactical gun, I don't think this is it for me. I would choose something that has, you know, a little bit sleeker rail system on it. Maybe that, you know,
grab that DD and save some money.
But if you're wanting a gun that is a good shooting firearm, that you're really concerned about accuracy, this match grade upper receiver will serve you very well. And I've been thoroughly impressed with it, especially with how it's performed for us and the average Joe accuracy. And, you know, we're going to stack this up here in a little bit with some other higher end rifles. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can stick around and find out how this stacks up to like what we're going to do. Compare it to a DD. We're going to compare it to a Super Duty. We're going to compare it to a lot of stuff. But as of right now, this is the best shooting gun, or best shooting AR-15 that we have to date. We really appreciate you guys sticking around for this whole video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Like I said, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see ya. Peace.
Bye, Mom.
Root.
All right, Scoob.